Frankie Manning was the ambassador of Lindy Hop.
There's never going to be another Frank Manning.
Frankie gives his all. You can bet you get 100% of his attention.
Frankie Manning was the best Lindy Hopper ever.
And it has been a real fascinating, very wonderful life.
I never expected to be a professional dancer or a teacher or a choreographer or anything. I just wanted to dance.
Back in those days, I met legends, say like Chick Webb, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Cab Calloway, Arthur Waters, Bill Bojangles, Robinson, Sammy Davis Jr., and I could go on. And that all comes from the result of learning how to dance at the Savoy Ballroom. I was born in 1914 in Jacksonville, Florida. And I left Jacksonville, Florida when I was 3 years old. And I went up to New York with my mother in the year 1917. And I've been there ever since. My mother she was a wonderful dancer, you know. And my mother used to like to go to rent parties. And then they have one of these boogie-woogie piano players, and I'd watch them sisters and brothers out there dancing. And my mama, she used to get out there, boy, she would go to town, Jim. Man, you ain't seen the boogie till you seen my mama do a boogie. I'll be back at the door trying to imitate what I see them do. So I went home and I took my record player and I started playing record, and I'd get in my room and I'd take a broom or a chair, and I'd dance with this broom or chair, you know, trying to get down, you know. So, and I'd be making all this noise. My mom would say, "Hey, Frankie, what you doing?" I had a lot of little setbacks, you know, like at the beginning when I was starting to dance and all that. You know, if you have a desire to do something, you're gonna say, "Okay, I did that wrong, but then I'm gonna find out how to do it right." Dancing was just a way of life.
The first time I went to Savoy was 1932. To me, it was like arriving in heaven. When I walked in the Savoy Ballroom, I started walking up the steps. I heard this music swinging, man. And the floor was packed, and seeing all those people out there dancing, it's just feel the music just seeping into your body and makes you just want to move and groove. It was such a wonderful feeling. You know, I was dancing already, but I wasn't doing nothing like them cats was doing, Jim. That was a great learning period for me. I mean, I had a regular job from 9 to 5, and at 6:30 I was in the Savoy.
I danced so much till I didn't think I would live to be 35. Shorty Snowden was my idol, and there was another one, Leroy Stretch Jones. Now, these guys were the tops in Lindy Hop at the Savoy Ballroom. If you notice in the movies, they were dancing upright ballroom up in here. Well, after a while, I started getting down in here, and I would be swinging out in time with the music. And the music is what kind of maybe fashioned my style of dancing, because the music was swinging, and I wanted to be swinging.
And nobody did it better than Frankie. The cat just could swing.
So they had this Lindy Hop contest
between Shorty Snowden's group, who we all consider the king of Lindy Hop, and Whitey's group of dancers, who were young upstarts coming. Before the contest, I had told my partner that I had an idea for a new step.
Frankie was able to take great swing music and was able to interpret it. Prior to that, you didn't interpret music, you just danced staccato, you danced vernacular. He was the first to do that type of step.
When I did the air step, the whole place just erupted. They just came out of that and said, "Did he just bring over his head?" They didn't know if they had seen what they saw.
Frankie went from the top amateur on the dance floor to the top professional dancer in Lindy Hop.
Herbert White, who was our instructor, his idea was to spread the dance around the world. It didn't matter whether it was white, black, green, yellow, it didn't matter as long as you could dance. But that was the idea, was to get everybody involved in the dance.
Whitey was looking for a new generation of dancers. Here's Frankie, he's phenomenal. Frankie was everything Whitey wanted in the dance. He didn't just love Frankie, he adored Frankie, because anything he wanted done on the dance floor, Frankie could do it. And then we had those poppers.
We had this contract to do this movie. So what I did, I choreographed the routine while in New York, because I had been out of California and made a couple of movies before that. So when we got to California, Nick Castle, who was the musical director, he came on the set. Well, Nick Castle was a wonderful tap dancer, but he was not a Lindy Hopper. He didn't know what to do with Lindy Hoppers. So he said, well, you got a routine? I said, yeah, this is it. He said, oh yeah, that's good, keep that in. Boy, I was floating there, Jim.
After World War II, the music changed. There was no place where we could dance anymore. To support his family, Frankie got a job in the post office.
This was like in the 80s. Somebody asked me, they said, well, are you Frankie Manning the dancer? I said, no, I'm Frankie Manning the postal worker. She said, but did you used to dance with Whitey's Lindy Hop? I said, yeah, I used to.
He became the best teacher in the world. Boogie back.
He's the one that's responsible for all of these camps. He is the one that's responsible. He's responsible for me.
Well, the warmth that you got from Frankie is because it was energy. That warmth was energy from the youngsters, the people.
It's such a wonderful feeling to see people out on the floor and smiling at each other and talking to each other and having such a wonderful time, you know, and that is my inspiration and that is my life. I just want to, you know, I just wish everybody in the world could just do it. You know?